Y'all. So really, why is a roommate shower not working? Why is hot water not coming out? You try to plan and check and make sure everything's okay. Kenny and I were in there. I don't know what's going on. I've Googled it and seen tutorials. There's no way I can do it. Kenny really during the week is not available. He's going to try to get one of his friends to come. But of course, he doesn't have a key. So I, talk to the roommate and get her schedule. So she's here. Plus, I want her to know that I'm working on it. It's just you can't make, and I get, you're new, you're here, you can't even take a shower. I get. So I have a Zelle back a little money in good faith for the inconvenience. But yeah. So hopefully I had a appointment yesterday with a man who my friend Marilyn told me about, because he helps her with odd jobs and like the yard and maintenance and stuff like that. So I had him come to look at the side of my house, which I'm responsible for, and it's so overgrown and yucky. I don't even think my mom really paid much attention to it, but it needs attention. So I wanted to get an estimate from him. One, he wasn't sure he would come this far, but he said it's not that bad. Very lovely man. Because my friend Marilyn's not sending anyone. She's got a deep spiritual connection to her husband who died a long time ago. So I know anybody should recommend, I would 100% trust. Anyway, but he also does handyman things. So, because I had asked him about the, the shower stuff that, if his tool, he'd loaned it someone, it's just a thing. Like he probably could fix it, but his tool somebody's got, he'd have to get it. And then again, one of us would have to be home and, so hopefully Kenny can get someone tomorrow morning to come early and look. But if not, and he's going to do it Saturday, it's got to be Saturday. So I'm in my library and the angle's strange because I had an old tripod down here, and as I was telling it, I was saying it to you, it just doesn't work well, and then it broke. It's like, okay, if you don't like me, I'm gonna break. And I'm using this handheld thing, but anyway, I've been looking at new tripods. They're not super expensive, but I want one that can turn down and hold it, so if I'm doing art and stuff, you can see it. But yeah, so I'm going to learn a lot about myself, and this has stressed me out, but what can I do, right? It's not like it's an apartment, and even if it's an apartment and they have people who do it, things take time. So, but this man, so he's going to give me an estimate on the yard, and he's very nice, and I think my friend said he's so thorough, and so I'll probably charge by the hour. And I don't know if it's 4 to 6 hours worth. I don't know. But we wouldn't start till October. I said I'd like to wait until I have a couple more, rents in the bank. And then I said we might have to do half now, half in spring, But he can fix things and do plumbing. His tool he would need is a friend loaned it. And I had left him and he actually is reaching out trying to get it. But still, I would have to be here. One of us would have to be here. But, yeah. So this will work itself out, and then he might be a really good candidate. Can only imagine what will go on. I mean, but Kenny, usually can come by Saturday, so that just might have to be good enough. But, but I'm not going to start worrying that she wants to move out and hates it here. So, yeah, it's an adjustment, and she's a lot different than I am, younger than I am, and I forget that people aren't like me. Because, one of a kind and all that. But I'm trying, like right now I'm in my library because I wanted to give her space, to be in the kitchen and do whatever she wanted to do before she left work. And, I'm trying to do that too. Like when there's not that, really, truly, we're not going to overlap a lot because, like, I won't be home till almost 9, but she is going to feed Clara when she gets home, which makes me happy. And I think will make Clara happy. And, Clara's having a hard adjustment, but she'll get used to it. I haven't met her cat yet. But I need to send her this thing about, like, you rub a towel on the cat and then put it with the other cat so you get used to the sense, the smell, and then it's not so foreign. And like, oh yeah, I've smelt you around, kind of thing. I found something about that, so I'm gonna send that to her. Then maybe we can do that. Maybe this weekend I'll meet Moira, and because I don't want her to have to live in there. But again, we'll see how Claire acts. To leave him alone when we're not here. We're a little ways away from that. But yeah, it's a little stressful, y'all. Yeah, okay. Y'all. So, anyway, I'm in my library, and I would show you, but I would probably never get you back again. But so my treadmill is covered with empty containers, small, large, medium. And my goal this weekend, well, I want to get back on the garage front. So I still have a mattress and furniture, but I can work around that for now. And so Saturday, get up early, get in that garage, and then make space for all these empties to go to, which means I have to so any of the bigger containers, I'm going to just fill up with stuff for the food bank or the vets, and then let it, whatever's empty, just let it go that I don't need. Right. And then, so these will go where I can shop, right? I want them to go where I can shop my own stuff for what I need. And it's out of the way. And I am finding that I like containers with lids the best. And the smaller ones I'll probably keep, but anything that, anything that's Dollar Tree cheap or broken or whatever, I'll let go. And now I'm ready for a new purge. I'm ready for a new push. I need to wait till my tooth is, I see the dentist Friday and I don't know if we cut my stitches out or what, but get the okay to be able to do stuff again like that. It's been trying to rest this week and not do any harm to anything. Still waiting for my test results on my biopsy. So a lot going on. And I've been reading about this autoimmune disorder and some other stuff. And it's really recommend you get a colonoscopy. So I'm going to try to this week make an appointment to go in to talk to people about it and get that pushed up. As it may take months. I have no idea. But yeah, so that's going on. But this library, I want it to be super comfortable. And it's got all kinds of wonderful, yummy things in it. And then let me try to show y'all, right? Let me see here. So here, all this is basically empties. And then, of course, all this is cool stuff. And then here are some empties and also things I need to go through. And then that over there where the blue thing is and the purple, that's where I want to put my, things that I'm letting go of in there. And then I can take it to the garage. And then I think what I'll do is since I'm going to have someone here now, I don't want to clutter up the foyer. So I'll take everything to the garage and then just have the vets pick up from my garage. So that's what's happening. It's a lot of empties. And that's just going to, me loading up the car. That's just going to take a couple trips to get everything in there. And, but yeah, shop in my own garage. But I kind of do, I really would like her car to be able to fit in there by bad weather. And I do think it's a selling point, let's say 2 years from now when she moves out, 5, whatever. And a selling point that you have garage parking. So I'm just going to make it happen. I'll have to get rid of what I have to get rid of. But also I'm to a point now, maybe not the library, there's still stuff I can let go of, but in the garage, I'm getting to where there's things I think I want, right? I think I might use. So it's going to be a little bit different of a push, a little bit more challenging, but I think I'm ready for it. I look around even my main floor, I think there's more I can get rid of, right? So that's a good thing. And Beverly is sort of, we influence each other a lot, but she's ready to do, her husband has someone who helps her, and, Beverly's been really reluctant. But I think, that, it's kind of like, someone who used to smoke and then doesn't smoke anymore and carries on, how annoying that is. I just, yeah, sure she's a little tired of hearing about all my stuff. But, if you're not ready to do it and then you need to do it, that can be annoying. But I think she's ready to do it. And this woman, you want to help other people who need work. And apparently she's awesome and thinks of things like her husband, it's her friend. that he hadn't thought of and can do things differently, and he's a hard worker. And like I said to Beverly, it's very hard as you age, right? And you guys know this. And Beverly, you know, I don't know, how old is she? I don't know. She's in her late 70s, maybe. Her birthday's coming up. And you can't do things, you have to do things differently. It's just, yeah, and she's a very independent person. So it bothers her. But I'm like, you know, you need to be smart, because you fall carrying up a bag of books that someone could have done for you and hurt yourself, and it changes your life. And this is what happened. You know, my friend Eleanor was in a really beautiful retirement place, and she needed a scooter, and she could afford a scooter. I said, and she's like, do you want to be perceived as weak? Well, she fell, broke her hip, and really ended up having her life changed in ways that it was just miserable. And, you know, you've got to be smart when you can, especially if you have the means. And then this woman works really hard, and, you know, and she needs extra income, right? And then Beverly, she'll take the stuff Beverly doesn't want and donate it, or keep it, or sell it, or give it to someone who she thinks needs it. I mean, that is because, you know, Beverly is like terrible stairs, and, you know, to carry crap, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I said, Beverly, you have money. This is what you do when you're older. You get younger people to work for you and help them. I can't tell you how many times I had older friends that would pay me to come over and help them do stuff, right? But yeah, so I'm excited for her. Plus, I do think as she does it and gets excited, it will reinvigorate me. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. But the garage is, right? The garage is a thing. And then, but I do want my library to be more comfortable. So once those empties are out, and I'm even thinking long term, once I join the YMCA and I feel good about it, and you know, thinking about letting the treadmill go and maybe getting a nice chair and a lamp and a table or something. I'm not sure. It's a thought. Nothing anytime within 6 months, right? Yeah. So I got ideas, and it's good to have ideas, and then you see how things work, and as you let things go, you know, things change. So that's what's happening here. But I do need, you know, my library and studio are not going to be minimal, but minimal for me, right? And this has got awesome stuff. I just need to know where everything is, right? And label it. And my idea is to have all books in here, and all just stuff like that here, and then have all the art supplies and paper stuff in the studio. And also, I know in my garage I have tons and tons of seasonal stuff that I've collected for like junk journals and stuff like that. But for now, what I would like to do is, once I get some space in here and it feels better, you know, bring that in and have a corner, and then I will be ready, you know, to go through it at my leisure. So I would like anything paper really in the garage to either be recycled or brought in the house. And I'm really being ruthless about recycling. Most of the books have been let go that I don't want. There is one bookcase that the mice didn't get into. I don't think, you know, but I don't know, once all the open shelving's gone, what's going to happen, but they're in good shape. So I think that's fine to have one. And then, you know, I have food stuff out there that is not, because there's so much in front of it, it's not that easy to get to. So I need to rearrange that too and use it, right? I think there's thousands of cans of beans. Let it go or use it, or at least know what's there, what the inventory is. And then there's a couple other bookcases I think I can just let go of. They're smaller because I won't have as much to put on it. So that is what, and I would really want to do a push for August. It's just going to depend on the weather and how early I get up. Like, I'm off this weekend, so I think each day I'm going to get myself up at 6 and get in there and do good. You know, if I can do 6 to like 9-ish, you know, before I have no idea what the weather is. Hopefully, unfortunately, all the hurricane and whatever it is now, you know, will hopefully bring some rain up here. I feel bad for all those people. I just can't imagine. You know, well, you can imagine, you know, and my mom and I've been displaced because of flooding, and yeah, the water is so awful. But so that's my thinking right now. I really do think you know, it's not in our lease that the garage is available, but it's just something. I also think, yeah, it will be a really good selling point. So, and plus it's just a personal challenge to myself, right? Because nobody that I know would think you could get 2 cars in that garage. And I'm lucky because it's a bigger garage, right? You know, some garages have like just the straight walls. Well, this has an indent where like, so you have the door and then there's space, right? So it's perfect for putting things in. And like I said, I have my trash can, my I think I might have to get a bigger trash can, y'all, I'm not sure. And my recycling against the wall. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and there's some pieces of furniture. There were carries that I just used to store things on. Do I need it? I don't know. I'm gonna look at all that stuff really closely. And yeah, not keep things because the space is there, right? Keep it because you want to use it. You want to, deal with it. And then, really be really good. So maybe what I'll do is, and then take a couple hours in my library. That's 4 hours. That's going to make a difference. Just once all these empties are out, and that's just loading up the car, driving it, putting it. So I think Saturday, if I start early and get space for all this stuff, and then decide, some will just go right in the corner for giving to the vets. I got to make an appointment for them Tuesday. And then, I will have places for all this to go. And then shop from there. Like I said, anything's broken, or I really do like lids now for a lot of stuff, containers with lids. But also, some little things, and yeah, so I think it's going to be good. And so right now in my studio, there is nothing that is empty. Like I've emptied everything out, whatever. Listen, there's a reason there's so much of this stuff, right? Because I got rid of stuff. And that's just going to be my labor of love. But if I really buckle down and get this library, it's always a continual thing. But if I can eventually what I'd like to do is go through all the books again and really inspire myself and see if I really want it, or do I have a bunch of it. So, but that's just going to be an ongoing thing. And it's a good reason when, when I give space upstairs, is come down here and work. And then, and Clara feels better down here too. So yeah, so that's kind of where my thought process is, but I don't want to kill myself in the heat in the garage. Also, I've been working on the yard, and there's some big containers. I just need to get my hose up and spray them down. And then I want to get out the chair back on the deck. I don't know when Kenny's going to have time to power wash. I think he has to wait for some stuff to cure that he fixed. Yeah. So, and then I will have this other resource. And, and I talked to him about that. Like, my friend has limited time, but, it'd be nice if, I don't know. Yeah, you can't think of what's going to go on. I would have never thought of this. But, but I'm trying to not be stressed out because it's going to be part of it, right? And sometimes, like I said, even if you are in an apartment building, it doesn't necessarily mean maintenance is going to come immediately and fix things, right? But it's how I'm going to handle it. And I'm going to learn a lot about myself, y'all. And I'm going to take you on the journey. But it has stressed me out crazily. And so I'm trying to take a breath. Do the best I can. So far, anything she's asked of me, I've done immediately. So far I have a good record of that. But, we don't know each other. And, she's in stress. It's a hard thing. You just want to take a shower at the end of the day or in the morning. I get that. And she's reluctant to use mine, and that's fine. We're all different. Even though my shower is clean and my bathroom looks good. And then, my bedroom, I'm going to do... So I'm still going through clothes. My dresser, I'm going to have to really be vicious, and anything that's too big, I'm just putting it in a pile, and then I'm going to donate it. But that and my jewelry, I need to get it all incorporated and then start wearing a piece of jewelry a day kind of thing. I'll do little reels or shorts with that. And then I have a big bag of hats and gloves and scarves. So what I want to do is I have, smaller things. I want to separate them out, and then so it's easier to store, because this huge thing, I could barely get up the stairs. That's ridiculous. I don't need all that. And, I've been letting go. But here, when I have it all together, it's a lot I need to let go. And then I have nails. Then I have nail stuff, y'all. And, that's going to be sometime this winter. So yeah, so that's kind of it. And then again, I sit in my living room and look around and think, you can let more go. But not until I, get the library done and the garage really under control. I mean, the garage is amazing. But I can hardly wait. I'm very excited to get it to where 2 cars park in there. It's just such a challenge for me, and I would have never thought that. But as you let stuff go, you really do want to let more go. It's amazing how that works. It really, truly is. And, you know, I've been buying some stuff for the house, which makes you want to keep buying stuff. Right now, I've got to return everything. It hasn't worked, and you do that by tomorrow. And then, you know, but I'm just not, you know, I'm good because I want to let stuff go. And art-wise and that, I have so much stuff. And Beverly just bought me, she gets this Tracy Batista, and I think I showed it. I don't know if I posted it, but I'll show you again. These really cool, like, handmade things. So I was playing with those yesterday, and then I want to show you. So one of the classes I'm taking through Wonderlust, and I want to get back to doing that. So you get a photo, right? It's photocopied, and it can be any size or anything. I don't have an example of one that's not used yet. But what you do is first, whatever page you want to put it on, you do clear gesso, right? It's just so everything doesn't sink in the paper. Sometimes you want stuff to sink in. So, and then what you do is you have this gel medium, and you put it on the paper, and you put it on the photo, and you put it down. And what it does is it transfers from this, you know, paper into the other paper, right? And then, so I hadn't done one in a while, and I had been a while since I watched her. So here's one, the first one I did, but I did it too early. But I kind of wanted to see if it would work, like if the photocopy was the right kind. So, and this I can use in scraps. So I did go back, and I had printed out stuff, and she says to wait 12 hours. So I thought, well, I did another one later in the day, and it came out beautiful, and you know, it's upstairs. But so then, so this one I started this morning, just to give you guys an idea. So what you do is you wet it, right? So you're going to take this, and usually I wet it too much, but I'm trying to, and this is teaching me patience and, you know, slow down a little bit kind of thing. So you wet it, right? And then you're going to, I'm sorry, I can't move this. I got to get a new tripod. This is so annoying. But I need a gooseneck one anyway, so I can show you my art when I'm doing it. So you start rubbing it, right? And the paper comes off, and then you leave the image behind. It's just such a cool technique. So this one I just started this morning. It's very calming and soothing. And like, so this came off, which is fine. It could be, I rubbed too hard. It could be I didn't have enough gel medium there. But so I've been doing it for a while. I have a lot, but see all that? So all that whiteness, you know, I'm going to wet a little bit more, and you just start rubbing more. So it's very, very soothing. If you like this kind of thing, it's like peeling skin when it's burnt. Love that. I know some people will be like, no. But anyway, so this is cool. So I know my copier works. And then, so I'll get some family photos and some old photos I have. And so I learned this a long time ago with a teacher called Leslie Riley. And she's amazing. You should follow her on Instagram. She's just really talented, neat person. And I remember her saying, Tracy, my 7-year-old can do this. So, but it's a matter of doing it, right? Like you get a feel, and the woman who's teaching the class, of course, she does them all the time. And how much gel medium you use. And again, it depends on where you live, right? You can probably speed it up by blowing it, but you know, it's a good thing all around for me with patience is, you know, to wait. There's nothing wrong. I don't think I have to wait a whole 12 hours, but you know, you can't do it in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gesso a bunch of pages, and, but I have something I want to read to you. So this is this Alice in Wonderland book. And you know, I've never really read Alice in Wonderland from beginning to end. And I might not do any more in this book because I think I want to read it. But I have to find this paragraph for you. So, and it's in the first, I think it's in chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole. So, come, there's no use in crying like that, said Alice to herself rather sharply. I advise you to leave off this minute. She generally gave herself very good advice, though she very seldom followed it. And sometimes she scolded herself so severely as to bring tears into her eyes. And once she remembered trying to box her own ears for having cheated herself in a game of croquet she was playing against herself. For this curious child was very fond of pretending to be two people. But it's no use now, thought poor Alice, to pretend to be two people while there's hardly enough of me left to make one respectable person. And I read that and I thought, whoa. She generally gave herself very good advice, though she very seldom followed it. I mean, this is so relatable. And I think, everyone's in different phases of their life, but, this idea, and I've been working on this, that voice that's mean to you or scolds you or severe with you, mean to you. I've been really aware of it and working on it. And I would say it's really lightening up. And I think the thing I figured out for me is, so when you have this voice, whatever, let's say it says, you're so lazy. Why aren't you working hard this week? Because you're twos? What? What kind of loser are you, right? And so a lot of times you don't even think about it. You just feel bad, right? You just feel crappy. And then, but I'll be like, now, I would be like, what? What'd you say to me? What? But now I've even changed past that. So I do notice it. I try to stop and think, what? But now I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, why? That voice needs more care and compassion and loving kindness than me getting riled up and mad at it, right? I mean, that is not how I want to respond to myself being mean to myself, if you think about it, right? It's like when you see like a kid crying and the mom or whoever's screaming, I'll give you something to cry about. Well, yeah, that really calms you down and makes you not want to cry, right? I remember one time, honestly, look, I didn't get my butt kicked. I was going through the tunnel, the Cannon building at the Capitol, and I had all different ways of going in. There's all kinds of mazes under the Capitol and all the office buildings. Yeah. And this woman, her little girl was crying, and she yanked her hair and said, stop crying. And I went up to that woman and I yanked her hair and I said, stop crying. It's not how it works. Be kind to your child. I walked on. I think she was so stunned, she didn't have time to react. But you think about how sad is that? That the people, I mean, we should be kind to everyone, but especially more to yourself or the people you love, right? Guard them fiercely. But that doesn't seem to be the way. And maybe some of you don't have this, and that's great, or you've worked through it, or, maybe your parents put such positivity into your childhood and gave you a self-esteem and, healthy self-esteem that it doesn't really happen. And, bless you, but for me, it does. And I will say, I feel like it's happening less and I'm catching it, but I'm treating it with kindness, right? I'm treating it with kindness and like curiosity, like why, what's going on? Like, why did that set you off? Like, why is it not okay to have a quiet week? Well, probably I'm afraid that will lead into me doing nothing because that's, that's happened before. But, we're different. We've changed, and we don't really have to prove anything to each other, do we? The motivation is not quite what it was, let's say 2 months ago, but it's still really there. And the idea of finishing stuff for my own self is a good feeling, right? But also the energy's different. So, okay, so I'm not a whirling dervish right now, which you can't sustain that forever. But I still have that energy. And now I have new ADHD medicine, y'all. And it freaked me out. It's the capsule is a different color. Like they're always usually some sort of dark orange and light orange on the bottom. But this is pink and yellow. And I'm telling you, I looked at it and I thought, whoa. And now every time you have a different manufacturer. And I've had many different manufacturers. So I don't know. Is this cheaper? Is there less food dye in it? I don't know. But I will say this, it's giving me a little bit more anxiety because it's like a speed, right? And I can feel it. It's so interesting because I feel it in my stomach. It's kind of like butterflies. Or, you just feel really anxious. And then I have to remember, okay, it's the medicine making me anxious. I'm not really anxious, right? So it helps me and I kind of breathe through it and know and have water and that kind of thing. But I'm curious to see how my talking is. I feel like my talking's fast in my head even. But, one, it's like day 2 really, because I didn't take much this weekend. So we'll see. It's an adjustment period, and then we'll start over again. And it is what it is to, rage against this machine of that. It just is ridiculous. I can't get consistent medicine that I need. It is what it is, right? And you do your best. And I'm also really, I know my therapist and I talked about my drug guy, about non pharmaceutical solutions, right? And and I have this health coach now, and we set goals. So I need to go by the YMCA this weekend and just look at it, get prices for trainers and that kind of stuff. My goal is when I really get the garage where I want it to be, because I'd rather get up in the morning and focus on this for right now. And then, then join the YMCA. And what's nice is you can do it month to month. So if I find, yeah, you're really not doing it, and, I can stop and then join again. But my plan is to go start, I've got this money on this account at work. I have to figure out how to, you used to be able to put it in your checking account, but I don't think you can do that now. But you can get like a Visa card, or I could get an Amazon card or something like that. So what I'll do is I'll get the Visa card, and then I will, let's say it's $300. So I'll take my money that was used for something else and then use the Visa card for that. Maybe you can use it at the gym too. I'll have to ask. Anyway, that's a step I need to take. But, I have promised that by the end of this month that I would go do that. The other thing, my goal is to at least have talked to somebody about EMDR. And so I have somebody I'm going to call and talk to. So I need to do that this week, and then get an idea, like how much are they charging? I do believe and then, call my insurance and say, hey, you still pay 70%, that kind of thing. And also there's forms that you have to fill out to get the reimbursement, right? So on my list is so what you do is you just put your information and photocopy a bunch of it and just fill in the details. So that's something I want to do too. I don't want to have them piled up. And my goal is do it, send it out, don't wait monthly or any of that nonsense. So my goal, I think, would be to do it at least every other week, or start maybe just see how it goes. But again, if it's not working, I will try a different person. But my goal is to actually have at least have an appointment or talk to somebody. So those I'm going to work on, and I'm going to call my gastric place and get an appointment to talk about colonoscopy and other stuff going on. And I'll have more test results by then. So, and I'm trying to call the office that I'm going to now, my internist. I don't go till September for a physical and blood work, but I need my pap smear sent, and I don't believe they've done it. So my person would like to see what the last couple have been. So that kind of thing. I've already called and talked to them, so I need to call and talk to them again. It just takes focus and me remembering to do it, which means me looking at my schedule. So I think what I might do is, because I want the roommate to have some time in the morning, and even keep that down here and come on down and look at it and do what I need to do. And at night, maybe even come down here for a little bit. So it's a lot, it's a lot of change. So I'm going to be very kind to myself about this. And, nobody wants change, but here it is. And it's good change. It's a blessing. And maybe it's going to catapult me out of this like sort of isolated stuff I've been in. And, going to the gym will be good, be around other people kind of thing. But that garage, and it's not like I'm trying to do the garage and put off YMCA. I'm not. Honestly, going to the gym will be easier than what I have to do in the garage. So, but yeah, so just to have a plan and then look at it and reevaluate. But that's what I'm trying to do, and not go, I seem to just go unconscious sometimes, and a lot of it's to do with the medicine and all that. But, as I eat better and I'm having, I made quiche last night. I roasted a little bit, not roasted, but in the skillet, olive oil, garlic, and I did the red peppers, I did spinach, and then, and the garlic, and a little bit extra garlic. And then I did, some ham that I had left over, and it's 5 eggs and a little bit of half and half, a lot of milk. And then I have to think about that. Find something non-dairy. That would probably be better. And yeah, and some feta and some like kind of the quattro cheese from Trader Joe's, which is just like a white cheese. So I have that. And then I bought myself some fruit. So I'm adding healthy stuff without actually sort of taking away stuff, but adding healthy stuff. And I'm on a regime of drinking. I drank 80 ounces yesterday of water, but my goal is 96. because everything I'm reading about, I don't care what it is, the hydration. And I'm not hydrated. I know I'm not. And just because you make water and carry it with you does not mean you're hydrating. So, and the more water you drink, the less you're hungry for junk and sweets and stuff. And so I've been off sweets for a little bit and I'm not craving them like I was. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm curious to see as I move forward, you know, how I feel, and, you know, things become secondhand, that kind of thing. But also checking in with myself. Do y'all check in with yourself? I mean, I really, I don't know what it is, but my brain can just, like my mom used to say, you would step over a dead body leaving for work if you're concentrating on getting out of here. And she was right. But she never once thought, well, wonder why you do that? Like, what's that about? Instead of it was like a personal affront, or I was choosing to be lazy, or I don't know. It was not a pleasant thing, you know. But you know, like I was telling Beverly, you know, Kenny and I looked at everything, tried to make sure everything was working, and here the hot water is not coming out. And Beverly said, you did try. And I can remember my mom sometimes would look at me and say, you really do try. But that implies that I don't get things done or things don't go my way. I don't know, but that needs to be stopped. Just issues to be dealt with. And sometimes, you know, you just, you know, as much as I'd like to control everything, you can't, right? You can't. So anyway, I'm going to learn a lot about myself. But, and, you know, readjusting my routine, and, you know, I want her to be able to come down in the morning and do what she does and not have to interact with me. You know, and at night, you know, like last night I was in my living room doing stuff, but you know, I can come down here. Like tonight, she'll probably be upstairs when I get home. So yeah, anyway, it's a new way of being, but I feel thankful and blessed. And now I need to really focus on what I want to accomplish, and the extra money, where it's going to, and all that. Beverly and I are, you know, working on my budget and my financial plan, and also teaching me to understand my mortgage statement and property taxes and stuff like that. So it's the year I really learn and don't just do what I have to do to get by. I want to start understanding things. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. But I'll tell you what, the more I let go of stuff, the easier stuff is. The easier stuff is. And I was even looking at my kitchen, like, do you really need all these plates? Right? So, and I'm telling you right now, this is the silliest thing. But I don't know, my mom, I don't know, it's like we're entertaining all the time, like 10 people. We had so much spoons and forks and, you know, like, I don't know how many of each one. You got your big spoon, your little spoon, your big fork, your little fork, all that. So I just hated unloading the dishwasher and putting that stuff away. And I finally dawned on me, you don't need all of them. Just like have 4 of each, 5, right? I'm trying to run the dishwasher every other day at least. So it's not like, you know, maybe before when I wasn't doing dishes like I should, but, and if I need a couple more, I might need a couple more forks, but it never dawned on me to take some out. And in my, living room, the dining area, there is a big crescenda. Is that how, I don't know. Anyway, it's a piece of furniture you put crap in, and they're there now, but we're going to go through that. That's going to be a winter thing when I'm home, to work on that. And, you know, narrow that down. And so, yeah. So it just didn't dawn. And now it's like, what? It's so much easier to put things away. It doesn't bother me. It's just something like that. You get so used to things. And when you get fresh eyes, or, you know, and really looking through somebody else's eyes, and of course, you can't really do that. But the idea of you're coming in as somebody who's going to live here, you know, what, you know, like, you know, I don't want to put stuff in the foyer anymore. Like right now, for some reason, I had a lamp and a couple things for Sophia to take, and she didn't. So I'm going to pull around and put it in my car and then put it in my garage, because I just don't want it sitting there, right? As you come in, I want it, it's a neutral space. It's a shared space, right? So in the kitchen, I do like to work at that table, and I'm trying to figure it out. But, you know, the lighting's so good, and that's fine. But what I'm doing is trying to put everything away when I'm done. And maybe I won't want to do that all the time, so I'll work somewhere else. So it's that kind of thing. It's just fresh eyes, you know? But yeah, so that's what's happening. And even if I want to do a big puzzle, I have an extra, card table. I could put that in my room. I could, you know, put it down here, you know. But right now, you know, doing it on the kitchen table and then putting the thing over it. So that's what's going on. Keeping up with my eating. Like, I'm really trying not to spend much this month at Trader Joe's, y'all. Got some new stuff coming out. And I know those Carolina Gold chips are out, and I've just decided not to have them this year. You know what I mean? Now, having said that, I do believe there is a coffee mochi ice cream. I do want to try that. I love the mochi. God, I have not had the mochi in so long. But I do want to try that. So I can give up the chips, but I do want to try that mochi coffee. But I haven't looked at the flyer yet, but I will. I don't know when I'll go. I might not be going till next Monday because I have enough of my half and half to get through. And Friday, I have to get my tooth looked at before I go to work, so I won't have time then. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll start going at night on my way home. I don't know. But I have enough food at work. But yeah, so is there anything y'all want to try? Let me know. I think I tried that crispy mango crap. I'm returning it. It was, the mango is so hard on your teeth. So returning that. I'm not going to try like the sausage breakfast scramble thing. I don't know. That just didn't interest me. And there's something else I did want to try, y'all. I cannot think of it. Do they have a good pad thai? I've been craving pad thai. I went to lunch with someone who had it, but super expensive. I may treat myself Friday night. I don't know. But I thought, well, I could try that. Trader Joe's has a good pad thai. But yeah. So I used to on my Friday nights, when I work Fridays, it's payday usually. So I thought, you know, that's why I used to treat myself if, you know, it was planned and thought out. And then, you know, I have food like really much for all day Saturday. But so I'll think about that. I don't know. My roommate brought in barbecue. I told Beverly I hadn't thought about the food influence, but I don't think she's a real foodie, and that's good. But I seasoned Beverly because I said, oh, it smelled good. But Beverly and I have gone there and we didn't like it. But it just sets you off that you want barbecue. And then, but I said, you know, she went to the gym. Is that going to set me off to want to go to the gym? So, all right, guys, I'm going to take off and get myself together and finish up my breakfast. Got my cold coffee. So when I come down here, I need to get, you know, something to put it in to keep it hot. But that's what's happening, and I'm going to try to post this. I cleared enough off now of my phone that I think it'll be okay. But we'll see, and when I finish this, and then I'm going to do collage and other stuff around it, I will let you know how it goes. But yeah, I want to do a lot more art and bring y'all with me. And, you know, I haven't gone back and looked at the comments yet, but I hope like going through a box or a bag or, you know, I love cigar boxes, y'all. I will let some go, but I'm going to have a hard time. But yeah. So, all right, guys, you take care. I'll talk to you soon. And yeah, let's all pray for each other in the world. And I'm just I got my head in the sand, and my world is very small right now. It just has to be. I cannot get, when you start watching all the political stuff, you know, it's so enraging. And where is any of this, all the money spent on these elections? What could that do for the American people who need help? It's just so absurd and just so awful. And yet, what do you do other than voting? Of course, my state, whatever you vote, it's all the same, right? If you want to get out and get people elected, I don't know. I have zero interest in that. But what I say to this is, right, this is my way of handling it, to be kind to people, even people who don't deserve kindness, right, is radical. And the more that people in this world has functioned, because people are good to people, regardless of what the news says, regardless of this and that. And yes, there is bad behavior in a way I've never seen before, but there are still good people being good to people. And that has always been my revolution and my form. It's just not cool now to be nice. Obviously, I don't know what goes on, but to turn the other cheek in a way. I mean, you protect yourself, but why are you gonna? And this is what I never could understand. So someone tries to cut you off on the road and you become enraged, and maybe you start driving a little erratically, and then maybe you accidentally try to cut someone off. But I try not to let disturbed people disturb me. I try not to let their energy and how they're treating affect how I am going to respond to them. Like with like is not how it works for me. And we always have this quote word, disturb people, disturb people. And I just choose, sometimes I do have a moment of like whatever, anger or pissed off, whatever it is, and I let it pass. Because that's not how I'm going to let other people's energy like tell me what to do or how I'm going to respond. No. And that takes work for me because of human nature is you want to protect yourself and you want to be like, oh yeah, but yeah, no. So that's my sort of radical way of hopefully, impacting the world in my small way. And I think it matters. I think it's important. So is what other people do is important, and you do what you can do, right? But that is what I do. And I don't want to hear stuff that I have no control over. I don't want to hear stuff. It's going to anger me, make me sad. That's just like even, my mom and I watched when there was bad weather, watch the Weather Channel over and over. And when I let go of cable, I thought, this is a good thing because you see people suffering and we've all suffered. And my mom and I have twice had floods in houses and it's awful. And it's not even to the level of what people in Florida and South Carolina, North Carolina are going to go through. But to watch it, no. I don't know what that's about. You sit there and watch it over and over again. But I'm glad to be away from that. There's other stuff to do. So prayers to everyone and good thoughts. And thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I'll be back and let's do something fun. But I'm going to take you in the garage on Saturday. So we'll see. It looks like a hot mess right now, but it's really not a hot mess. So I'm very excited to see. I think it's going to look so different when I get done. I just really have to hold myself accountable to getting up. So I have to look. Maybe the weather's not so bad and I don't have to be in there till 7, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, you take care. I'll talk to you soon.